Welcome to Sip and Screen. I'm Chris.
And I'm Mackenzie. And on this show, we sip and screen.
On this review show, we cover plot, acting, cinematography, production design,
Special effects. Then we also get into the soundtrack. We're doing the pacing, the originality, the ending, and the overall entertainment value.
So today you have the pleasure of watching us review the infamous Beetlejuice. Right? We've been waiting on this for
Forever.
almost 40 years, which I feel like has a lot to do with how I'm going to score this. 40 years is a long time to...
It's something that they better make up for real big.
So we're going to get into it. First of all, as you can see on the thumbnail, we went to go see it in 4DX, which was bananas. I recommend you going to see this movie in 4DX and every movie in 4DX.
You have to, especially with the first one. But I think it was so special with Beetlejuice because it was such a long wait. Not only that, like we needed to be immersed into this movie. So just watching it in 4DX was like...
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Matter of fact, we're going to roll some of the footage from us going to the theater, the 4DX stuff. So you go ahead and check that out right now. So yeah, it was crazy. And as you can see, we got some of the things from the theater up here. We got this popcorn bucket, the Beetlejuice tombstone. We got the art from the original movie, which is, I ain't gonna give no spoiler. Cause I said
This is gonna give spoilers.
No, it's not. No spoilers. It's on the thumbnail, no spoilers. We don't give out spoilers. We hate spoilers. As you can see, we also got the Fanta, every flavor, Beetlejuice. And one of the most things that was the most hard to get a hold of was this guy right here. I don't know if you can see it through the bag.
The sandworm.
But it's the sandworm bucket. So it was kind of hard to get a hold of that, but we did. Sealed in the package, and we ain't gonna bust it open. All right. So let's get into this review. What do you think about the plot?
So I feel like the plot in the beginning started a little bit slower than what I would have expected. But overall, it was okay.
Okay. All right. Before we get fully into it, because I see it's about to get deep. So we went to see it, but we haven't talked about it. We saved this for y'all. So I've been quiet about the movie. We went to go see it September 4th.
4th. Today is the 5th.
The 4th, which the movie doesn't come out to the 6th. So we got to see it early. I'm going to roll the trailer. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure if you're watching this, you've seen the trailer. But just in case you haven't, check out the trailer.
I can't believe Grandpa's dead.
Death is hard.
Yeah, sometimes I think life is harder.
When I was a teenager, a trickster demon terrorized our entire family and tried to force me to marry him. I believed he was gone forever until you found this in the attic.
Ew. Who's Beetlejuice?
Don't ever say that name.
Beetlejuice.
No! Fred, I am serious. If you say his name 3 times, he will appear.
Beetlejuice.
The juice is loose. I'm gonna make you so happy.
The living. The dead. Can they coexist? That's what we're here to find out.
Where is Beetlejuice?
Where's Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice!
Feel free to express yourselves. Don't be afraid.
You're a figment of my imagination.
Really? Is this a figment of your imagination?
I'll be honest, I'm ready to watch it again.
You ready to watch it again? All right, so let's dig into this plot. For me, I agree. It started off super slow. It had me thinking, like, what's going on here? Are they going? Is it gonna be a flop?
Yeah.
So it starts off slow, the plot does, but it gains traction, and I feel like it got good.
Yeah, I think that it did get very good. It definitely gave me a bit of nostalgia, just kind of how it was shot. I felt good. Like I felt like I was in a comfortable place.
All right, so let's move on to the acting.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with the acting. You started with the plot. I'm gonna start with the acting. Everybody's old in this movie. Everybody's old in this movie.
Except for Jenna Ortega.
Michael Keaton, he's not the Beetlejuice that we grew up on.
Yep.
He's not that Beetlejuice. He's a good actor, but he's old. Like, I don't know how else to say it. He's old.
Yeah.
Winona Ryder, she's old.
Yes.
Everybody's old. Like, so the acting, it was okay. It was okay. It was kind of bland to me.
I do like some of the new characters that were introduced. I think that they did a really good job in their role. I think that Jenna Ortega did an amazing job.
Yeah, she did. She
Like,
did good.
she did good.
She did good.
And
But
I
who-
didn't get I didn't get all Wednesday.
But see, that's crazy because I was looking for I was kind of looking for Wednesday.
And I was nervous about
And
that
it's kind of weird because,
because then you get typecast into just that.
but I kind of expected Jenna to be a little bit more. Her name is what was her name? Astrid.
Yeah.
Astrid.
Astrid, I think.
Astrid
Yeah.
was Jenna's name in the movie. I expected her to be a little bit more goth. I think she should have been more goth than Lydia, than her mother.
Because that's where she got it from.
Yeah, but she was the opposite, which, I mean, it's cool. But you said you enjoyed the new actors.
I enjoy the new actors. Can I do this? Can I throw an oddball out there for you? Can we answer on 3?
What?
Let's just see.
What?
Who is your favorite character? Can we say that?
Mm-hmm.
Can we do that on 3?
Yeah, we can do that on 3
All right.
because I think we probably gonna agree.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Bob. Bob is my guy.
Bob showed out.
So y'all see when y'all watch the movie, Bob, that's my guy. He held it down. He held it down for the juice. One of the ones that I think that, as far as acting is concerned, I think they could have did without is William Dafoe's character.
They could have did without.
That was weird. Like, William Dafoe is a good character for the movie because he already looked dead in the face.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he blends in that world.
Yes.
But his character just didn't do it for me. Like,
But let me tell you who was very refreshing to me. Even if it was brief, it was very refreshing. Is Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito.
DeVito had a small, he had a cameo.
And it
I
was
can't even
refreshing.
say he was in the movie. He had a
Yeah,
cameo.
he
It was cool.
good.
It was cool to see DeVito.
Brought me back for him. That brought me back to his times on Batman when he was Penguin. And like I just don't feel. I feel like he doesn't get enough of those roles where he just kind of gets to be
I don't think
like,
he was awesome.
whatever.
I want to know who convinced him to even play this role, because it wasn't like a standout role.
Yeah.
It was a cameo.
It was cute.
Like, who convinced him to do this cameo?
Yeah. In regards to acting, I've always felt like I love Ryder. I love her. However, I've always felt like she was on the lower end of the actors.
She's a legend because of what she's done.
Yeah.
Her acting to me is subpar.
Yeah,
Like
I
she's
don't-
bland. Even in Stranger
it was
Things,
very
she's
bland.
subpar.
Yeah.
Like she's very bland.
Like,
And that's how the acting, in my opinion,
yeah.
the acting in this movie was bland. Like everything was monotone.
I feel like we could have done, like if Delia was not in there, not Delia, but if she was in there, if Lydia was not in there, like the show still would have just went on. Like it just would have been.
If William Dafoe wasn't in there, the movie would have been just
like, yeah, he did.
Y'all gonna see. We ain't gonna get no spoilers, but y'all gonna see. Y'all comment and tell us how y'all feel about William Dafoe's role in this Beetlejuice. Let's get on to the next thing, which is one of my favorite. Is the cinematography in this movie.
Yeah.
I think was spot on. Like everything was beautiful. The colors, they popped.
Yep.
Everything was vibrant.
Yep.
The movement was.
Everything was how it was in the first one. Like I really felt like they stayed true to that. They honored that, and that does a lot and goes a long way with true Beetlejuice fans. So I appreciated that.
Yeah, most definitely. The production design. What do you think about that?
Love the production design. So one of the things that I was noticing, of course, was the house that they were in. I felt like the house was different. The house did look
Yeah, it did. It did look different.
with the dining table area was
Yeah.
definitely different.
It did look different.
But all the MacGuffins in there were there from the original one.
Yeah.
And I love
This guy was in it.
this was in it.
That guy was in it.
Of course, the sandworm is in it. The book was in it, of course. Like they just had everything like really be familiar in there. I think that the newest thing that they really focused on this time was Bob the Shrunken Head.
Yeah. That's my guy. So let's move on to special effects. This is my second favorite. The special effects, I think, were great.
Yeah.
2024, there's so much CGI. The way they had a little CGI, but they mixed it with mostly practical.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly practical things, animatronics. And I just love that textured look
Yeah.
in, the practical special effects.
The sandworm has always been magnificent to me.
Uh-oh, that sip is sipping. That sip is sipping.
Me in general, if you know me. But the sandworm was always been nice. So like in the first one, of course, we only got a couple of glimpses of it. He's a lot more outspoken in this one. So we got to see a lot more detail come out of it this time. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed how they kept that area kind of, just the same, reminiscent to the first one. The special effects were spot on to me.
All right, so far we kind of like neck and neck on what we feel about this movie. So we're going to go on to the next one, which is the soundtrack. Now, let me tell you something about this soundtrack. The original Beetlejuice anthem, song, whatever you want to call it, it gives you like a certain feeling when the movie comes on and they run that song.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, we watched this in 4DX, right? So in the theater, as they're playing the theme song and we're droning over the town,
Mm-hmm.
the seats are moving like we're flying as well.
And the wind.
And the wind is coming. So we got the wind, we got the movement of the seats, and then we got the theme song, which is hitting in the speakers. It gave me such a good feeling.
It did.
So from that point on, you couldn't do nothing wrong in the soundtrack. I don't know if that's how you feel.
So I love the scoring. The scoring is always right on point. It cues in when it wants you to feel the things that you need to feel. But also like the song, like the main song, the Banana Boat song, which, you know, like, and I want to pay homage because that musician is a Black musician, and I didn't even know that beforehand. And they really did justice with that song too. But when I think about Beetlejuice, I think about the intro song. And then I also think about that song because, of course, Lydia, you know, that was her favorite song. So that song was definitely in there in a different couple elements, and they did good.
The soundtrack is fire.
I love it.
The soundtrack is fire.
Kooky.
So this is a major thing for me when I'm watching movies, is the pacing of the story and the pacing of the movie and how the protagonist moves it along and the antagonist moves it along. In the beginning, it was slow. It was slow. It had me worried. But here's the thing. We've been waiting on this for almost 40 years. Almost 40 years we've been waiting on this. And they had a lot.
Before we were born, let's say that.
Yeah, sure. In fact, they had a lot of catching up to do, right? 40 years is a long time. So the pacing is going to be weird. And I knew that going into it. The pacing was going to be weird because now you have to find out what Lydia's been doing, what, you know, her stepmother's been doing, what her father's been doing. And now we got, you know, Jenna Ortega, you know, her character, who she is and how she is and, you know, how she fits in this story. So in the beginning, I would say the first half, the pacing was off. Once they explained everything and caught us up 40 years, then it got to the good stuff. The story, you know, the new plot had roles, and we were able to get along with the show.
I really felt like I agree with you. The pacing in the beginning was slower, and then in the middle, it kind of like it evened up, it sped up, and then at the end, I felt like it just went really fast as they tried to tie everything together.
Well, I think with that, the reason why they did that is because they didn't know how much money this movie was going to make.
Yeah.
Right. And they make movies and sequels and trilogies off of how much the last one did. So they kind of left it kind of open to where it might be another one, but they're not sure. We could just end it with Beetlejuice. So I think that's what kind of made the ending kind of weird.
Yeah. I guess this kind of goes off into the plot some too. I also feel like the plot in the first one had just a few things that they focused on. On this one, we had so many
It's that 40-year gap.
pieces
It's that 40-year gap.
that died really, really, really fast.
It's that 40-year gap. Like, they had to. There's no way you could slow it down and make it make sense with what the hell happened in the past 40 years. So they had to throw it all on us like that. And I think they did a decent job.
I don't think it was bad.
They did a decent job.
You could see it.
It's definitely noticeable. It's definitely noticeable. Let's move on to what I think really makes this movie is the originality.
Yeah.
The originality of this movie is unmatched, right? Because we've never had a movie, even back in '88 when it came out, we never had a movie talk about the other side of, we always get the haunting from the haunted point of view. We get the haunted point of view.
Yeah.
But we never get the haunting point of view.
Yeah, so
And so
good
from the beginning, that story was crazy. And I think the same thing goes for the story, and the new one is unmatched. Nobody has ever tried it again since Tim Burton, and I don't think anybody could do it as well as he did. And it's super original. Like,
I think that the originality is just like you said, it's timeless, it's classic. I think that in certain situations, I feel, for me, I would look at this as like a standalone, and I kind of feel like the very first one is still the classic. I still feel that.
yeah.
But
But they moving in a good direction now.
they're moving in a
Like,
great direction.
because they could have totally like flopped it,
Yeah.
but the story,
However,
it made sense.
and let me see. No, it will still be considered an originality because
Oh yeah.
a certain, I don't know, you guys will see it, but just remember Checkered Floors. And we went to go see, what was that movie called? It, The Imaginary Friend or whatever. And it looks like they had took a play out of the Beetlejuice world and that dream, like, you know what I'm saying, world.
But I mean, as far as the plot,
Yeah.
the theme, the plot, you can't do it as well as Tim Burton.
No, Tim Burton is a master.
Like, it's a crazy story. I don't even know where they were. Like in '88, why was your mind even there?
Far. Yeah.
Why was your mind even there? But thank you for
Even with the cartoon.
whatever drug you were on to come up with this story. Thank you. Shout out to
You're
the drug.
condoning that, but thank you.
So the next one is
The ending, really. It's the ending.
the next one is the ending.
Can I start?
Go ahead.
There was a couple of places in there where I was conflicted with the ending because it just made me cringe.
I think for me, the ending was like the beginning. Not as far as the slow aspect, but like the aspect like we don't really know.
No, I'm talking about like the sequence from Lydia. Like it put me,
But that's
I felt a little
so there's a sequence that there's no spoilers.
not spoiling it.
There's no spoilers, but there is a sequence at the end that it leaves open to where we might get Beetlejuice Part 3. But it was kind of corny to me.
Yeah.
It was kind of corny to me. It was almost like, where like all the Chucky's, like how they're doing Chucky, and like the progression is like super weird. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will tell you this, and this is not a spoiler. This is I'm saving you time. There is nothing at the very last end credits.
Yeah, so we thought it was like a Marvel situation. So we sat there all the way to the end, and there's nothing. So we'll save you if you haven't seen it yet. Soon as it's over, it's over.
You can go.
But as far as the ending, I think it got kind of weird because I feel like they don't know
I feel like they just didn't know.
from
how
a
to-
business aspect, they don't know where it's gonna go. They don't know if it's gonna do well. They don't know. So they put a cap on it, but they kind of left it where
Leave it open.
they left it open. So that's what it's a 40-year-old story. So, who knows?
So, with that being said, what do you think about the entertainment value? So, the overall entertainment, is this movie worth your money? Want to go see? Worth the hype?
So I'm a Beetlejuice fan, not like her, because y'all can see from the video that we rolled when we went out there, she was in full makeup, the whole nine. So I'm a fan, but she's a super fan, right? So it is worth the money for the simple fact it's a great story. It always has been a great story. So go check out Michael Keaton in his old age. What is he, 70-something, 80-something? I don't know.
He's
So-
so, about 10 more movies on the
He wasn't the old Beetlejuice. He wasn't moving like he used to. But, I mean, it's Michael Keaton.
It's amazing.
So I think the entertainment value is you're gonna get what you want, right? It might not be up to your expectations, but you won't be disappointed. It was a good movie. Go see it in 4DX if you can.
Gotta try and see it in 4D.
4DX. For me, 4DX took it up another notch.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know what your score is for the movie. I don't know. You don't know?
From all of the things that we talked about?
From everything, excluding the 4DX. Exclude the 4DX experience.
Because I'm going to go watch it again on Tuesday. So
What was your overall...
there's that the drink. Is that the sips?
Maybe. What was your overall score for the movie, excluding the 4DX experience?
My overall for the movie, being realistic, being fair, I would have to give it
Hold on. Let's say it at the same time. The number. Out of 10.
out of 10.
Out of 10 sips, how many sips do you give Beetlejuice minus the 4DX? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. 7.
I give it a
7.
7.5.
I gave it a 7.
Okay.
So with the 4DX experience, I give it a 8.
Okay. With the 4DX experience, I'll meet you at an 8.
Okay. So there you have it. 8 sips
8 sips.
is what we give Beetlejuice on their new rendition of the new story Beetlejuice.
What we like for you to do is like, comment, subscribe. But we want to know what you think too. And after that, we're going to select the winner.
Oh yeah, so we're giving away a Beetlejuice poster. Regular poster size. Tell us what you thought. And we're gonna send that to you. Like she said, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can see what we're reviewing next. And
Thank you. Cheers.